Chapter 83 Bingo. Lady Luck can be a kind helper or she can be an awful minx, almost toying with your best endeavors. There really is no guessing what you're going to get. Preparation and skill can go a long way to forcing her hand, but in the very real world we live in, where so many variables can be at play at any one time, you really are just trying to load the dice in your favor. So, even though Zaunkonig's careful research and preparation had loaded the dice, it was the 1 in 3 chance that the station he'd chosen to visit first would bear fruit that would be 100% down to good luck. Within a few seconds of leaving the entrance, what little light was making its way down the shaft had been reduced to nothing. Zaunkonig grabbed the torch that was hanging from an improvised lanyard round his neck and tried to see what precisely lay ahead of him. Darkness and damp was exactly the news he'd been anticipating, and he wasn't let down. Luckily for him, the latter didn't either. Irrespective of whether he could see or not, he continued down. According to the plans, it was about 20 meters deep. Eventually his foot no longer found a rung. Shining the torch, he could see it was about a 12-foot drop to the floor. Tying a slip knot in his rope, he lowered himself to the ground, and with a flick of the wrist gathered the line. King William Street looked every inch the abandoned station. Either entrance nor exit gave anything away. Zaunkonig, however, did not give up that easily, and his persistence soon paid off, when he found a ventilation grill mounted in the wall. Looking closer at the age of the grill, it was very clearly less than the rest of the station. Bingo, he thought to himself. Behind the grill lay a robust metal ventilation shaft, something that every populated underground building would need if its occupants were not to die. He climbed in and carefully followed its meandering way. After about 50 meters he started to hear muted noises. Slowing his movement to minimize the chance of accidentally alerting people to his presence, he came to another grill, this one serving its intended purpose. Whilst its louvres almost completely concealed Zaunkonig from being seen, they in no way prevented him from observing. He couldn't believe his luck, but upon reflection it in fact made perfect sense that the first grill he came across would be the last in line, with respect to the interior layout. Seated around a large boardroom-like table there were 4 people, one he immediately recognized as Captain Connors. The other 3 were clearly his guests that had not long ago caused the lockdown. Paul Dirac was the first he heard say anything clearly. "This is truly wonderful, Captain Connors. I imagine there are boardings available on site?" Captain Connors responded. "Yes, there is. There is no need for us to leave until we have a plan. Please feel at home and free to wander. Within reason, obviously." After some small talk that Zaunkonig barely registered as interesting, it was Captain Connors who once again pricked his interest. "Right then, fusion. What does it mean and how may it affect us?" Zaunkonig retrieved his notepad and pencil and got ready to take notes. He smiled to himself how similar the scene would have looked in essence, him secretly recording private discussions from a tiny hidden space. While he mused, Paul Dirac explained technical facts that Zaunkonig didn't understand but recorded verbatim, phonetically if necessary. His 2 friends assisting were required to clarify facts and number. Their understanding of physics impressed him. Despite him having no benchmark to compare, they at least sounded authentic. Finally, Captain Connors said something that woke him from his automatic mode. "Okay, so are we assuming the Nazis have found a fusion reactor in an ice cave in Antarctica?" "Not that they had created one?" asked Captain Connors. "Yes, that would be our best guess," replied Paul Dirac. "Well, in that case we are going to have to go on a trip. What do you think?" Zaunkonig had all he needed to know. He had to get the information to his contact as soon as possible. The British military were heading for Antarctica.